Though what I don't understand is, why do Donald and Douglas have new whistles? I mean, more realistic sounding whistles. I mean, what was wrong with their old ones? But apart from that, it was great to see these two engines again. Actually, I love the line that Doc says. I haven't seen you two in a while. Well, it feels like you've been gone for ages. It's like he was representing the people, or older people watching the show. I mean, knowing that we haven't seen these two since season 12, like 8 years ago. And just like Doc, we were surprised to see these two make a return again. So yeah, I like Donald and Douglas. The Sodor Construction Company machines, aka Jack, Alfie, Oliver, Max, and Monty. It was great to see Jack with Alfie again. And we didn't see much of these characters, except for maybe Oliver, because of the Marion subplot. But it was great to see Alfie again. We didn't hear much of Nathan Clark's performance as Alfie, but when I did hear Nathan's voice, I think it voiced Alfie quite well. Sure, it sounds a bit puberty-ish, but it's still a good voice all the same. Especially when I heard that he was doing audition roles for characters like Toby, James, Bill, Ben and that on his website. It was great to see that they finally accepted an audition from him as Alfie. Now then, Oliver. Yeah, it was surprising to see Oliver return as well as Alfie. I didn't really was that excited about Alfie returning, because if they brought back Jack, then I thought they had to bring back Alfie because they're both best friends. But I was surprised that they chose Oliver to bring back as well. I mean, all shovels on deck, I guess. Tim Whitnell does a pretty good voice for Oliver. Yeah, I can tell that it was Tim Whitnell because I know that kind of voice anywhere. When he's voicing Timothy, Reg, Mike, Oliver, Jerome, I can hear that voice. I know that voice from anywhere. But it's still a good voice, and it's strange that, except for maybe a few characters, Oliver is the character that is the most accurate to the model than any other CGI character. I mean, SamtheTrainFan, I think he's called. He made a video, a few days ago about both Olivers in CGI, that the engine Oliver looks completely different than the model, and that excavator Oliver looks exactly the same as the model. Yeah, it was strange that they didn't put in the slightest bit of difference in Oliver's model. Like a few extra rivets, or a little change of color here or there, or a slight change on his face. There was nothing. I kind of like it that way. And now, Max and Monty. It was sort of disappointing that we didn't hear them speak. They were only there for non-speaking cameos. But at least we did see them quite clearly when they were building the branch line, and once they finished with the branch line. It was at least great that we at least get to saw their full CGI models, at least. Even though the two didn't speak, it was great to see these two again, regardless. And Daisy. Yeah, if you didn't know, Daisy was in this special. The only problem is she was at the very, very end, when they were opening the branch line. Ryan will handle the goods traffic, and I shall handle all the passenger trains to a very special friend. Daisy! The diesel rail car! It was sort of strange that we didn't see Daisy until the very end of the special, and that she had only one line to say. But like Max and Monty, it was great to see her regardless, and that they actually decided to bring her back. And that, unlike other appearances she's made, she now has a really good reason for her to stay on Sodor. I mean, in the Thomas Goes to Breakfast trilogy, Daisy was only there to work on Thomas's branch line until Thomas was repaired after crashing into the station master's house. And we didn't exactly know what she did after that. I mean, did she stay on the island? Did she go away? Her appearance in Calling All Engines doesn't really count. So I'm glad that she came back to the island, but now has a pretty good reason to stay on the island. She's going to do all the passenger journeys on the new branch line, while Ryan does all the goods traffic. Yeah, a proper way to run a branch line. Having an engine to do passenger work and an engine to do goods work. For example, Thomas doing passenger trains and Percy doing goods trains on Thomas's branch line, Doug doing passenger trains and Oliver doing goods trains on the Little Western, or Doug's branch line, Edward doing the passengers and Boko doing the goods trains on Edward's branch line. Speaking of which, I have to agree, they sorta have to put Boko back. Bring Boko back. Because, as they established, there's usually two engines for each branch line. One to do passenger trains and one to do goods trains. While Edward's doing the passengers, we sorta need to have Boko to have proof that he's doing the goods trains on Edward's branch line. And you might be thinking, don't Bill and Ben do the goods trains? No, they only work at the clay pits. They bring China clay to bring from the clay pit to Brendam Docks, as explained in the Diesel.
Their trucks are filled with China clay. It is needed for pottery, paper, paint, and many other things. The twins are now kept busy pulling the trucks for engines on the main line, and for ships in the harbour.
So it's usually just Boko who does the goods work. I'm getting off topic again. I will save that for my Q&A video. So yeah, despite Daisy appearing at the very end, it was at least great to see her return again and say a line of dialogue. One line of dialogue is better than no lines of dialogue at all, unlike Max and Monty. And possibly the final character I'm going to discuss at the moment. The thin, Klangyaman. Is that how you say it? Klangyaman? The Thin Klangyaman. AKA the Reverend Wilbur Awdry himself. I was actually surprised that I heard rumours that the Reverend Awdry is gonna make a cameo appearance in the movie himself. I mean, they made a CGI puppet of the Thin Klangyaman, and they saw him as a cameo to put into the movie. One at the very beginning, while he's riding his bike, while Bertie was trying to get past Oliver, he was riding his bike. When I see him in that scene, I'm kinda like, huh, I recognize that red bus, but what's that brown digger thing behind me? I don't think I've seen him before. Get it? 'Cause Hit Entertainment came up with the idea of Oliver, not the Wilbur W. Awdry.